Hi, let me show you how you can get fantastic looking typefaces in just a few minutes. There are two methods, a completely free option and another one that requires a Creative Cloud subscription. I'll start with the first one, and it's my main choice for my design projects, font.google.com. This features over 800 font families, and it's one of the easiest ways of exploring large amounts of typefaces. When you visit the site, you'll see a lot of things on your screen. Let me break it down. In the top right, you have various categories to choose from. By default, they're all enabled, but say you're looking for only handwritten fonts. Not a problem. Uncheck the other ones, and the website will reload without having to refresh the page. You'll notice Google classifies fonts in a different way. Photoshop had some other options, but in essence, the main ones are covered. For example, handwriting also contains script typefaces, so you're not missing out. It's just a labeling thing. Further down, you can adjust how these results are sorted, and you have a few options: trending, popular, date added, and alphabetical. My advice is you constantly switch things up so you can diversify your knowledge of typefaces. If you constantly use the same ones, you're not going to grow as a designer. Further down, you have various sliders that help you pinpoint a certain style. Maybe you're looking for something that's extra thick. Not a problem. Click on this checkbox and move this slider towards the right. Great stuff. Let's clear all these filters by clicking here in the bottom right. These phrases are not randomly chosen, by the way. They aim to show you as many letters of the alphabet as possible so you can get an accurate representation of the font. More interesting is the fact that you can write in your own text. Click here and use Ctrl-A to select all this text. Remove it with your backspace key, and now let's write, "This is an example." Immediately, I get two options, one of which I'm really interested in. Apply to all fonts. Now I can easily decide what's best for my project if this were a real headline from my design. Besides getting the typeface's name and author, you also see how many styles, aka weights, it features. Roboto has 12 styles, meaning it's very versatile. You can use it for headlines in bold, for paragraphs in regular style, quotes in italic, and so on. Slabo, on the other hand, features only one style, and that's very limiting. Once you have an idea on what you want to use, you have to click on this orange icon. This box will pop up in the bottom right, showing you how many font families you've selected. In this case, it's just one. If you click it, you'll expand this window, and it will show you how fast it will load if you use it in a web design project. It also helps you integrate it in case you're working on a web design project, so it's really easy to get started with them. We only want to download it, so we'll skip all this. Let me minimize it, and I'll choose some more interesting fonts. Let's take a bunch because I'm not sure which is best for my next project. Okay, once that's done, open that window again and click on this download icon in the top right. Now you'll download a zip archive, and that will contain all your choices. Wait for a second to get it. Now I'll extract it, and each font is going to be placed in its own folder. Here they are. If you go through them, you'll see some of them have loads of styles. Here's a trick to install them faster. Make sure you're above all these folders and use the search feature from your operating system. These fonts are TrueType, so I'll search for .ttf. This will reveal all fonts, and now I can select them all with Ctrl-A. Copy them with Ctrl-C, and now we'll place them inside our operating system's fonts folder. In my case, that's C, Windows, Fonts. It will usually take a second to load, but once you're there, use Ctrl-V and you'll paste all those typefaces. Note that you may get an error if you've already got it installed. If that's the case, you can skip it. Great, now you can jump back to Photoshop and you'll find they're available, in most cases without having to restart the program. As you can see, if I look for a newly installed font, I find it in this list. Nice one. Let's talk about the second way of getting fonts, and that's through Typekit. This is available only for those who have a Creative Cloud subscription, so if you're paying for Photoshop, you get to use this amazing gallery for free. If not, your best bet is to stick to Google Fonts. Let me show you how this is done. From the Character panel, click on this drop-down and you'll find this icon inside it. You can see it says Add Fonts from Typekit. Once you click it, a new tab will appear in your browser and you'll automatically be logged in with your Adobe ID. That's why I prefer to launch this site directly from Photoshop, because I no longer have to log in. Here we have a similar layout to Google Fonts, only we get a different type of classification. Like I said, this will be different depending on where you go on the web, but most of them are easy to understand. We can adjust the text preview here, so let's write something else. I can also adjust the size in case I'm looking for something specific. Let me show you one thing that you have to be aware of. I'll enable decorative as the style I'm looking for. I'll open up this typeface called Bellow. This is not available for download. You can use it in a web design project, but it's for web use only. That's written in the right side, by the way. So if you like it, tough luck. You can move to the Details tab and you'll see what code you need to paste into your CSS code, but there's no way to use it in Photoshop, at least not without paying for it. And as a side note, typefaces are very expensive to purchase, but this is an exception. Typekit is filled with typefaces that are available for download, or how they call it, sync. So if you don't want to see typefaces that you can't use in Photoshop, I suggest you leave this option unchecked. Now you can enter any of these results. In the right side, instead of Web Only, we now get a green button that says Sync. Let's click it, and after a few moments, we'll get a notice from our Creative Cloud program that'll say the font has been synced. To check it out, go to Assets. From here, you have 3 additional tabs, but we're interested in fonts. These are sorted alphabetically, by the way, but if a notice appears on your screen, then it's available in Photoshop. Let's go back to the program and look for it. Again, in most cases, Photoshop will work just fine, but if you have any issues and you can't seem to find it, just restart it and it should be fixed. And here it is. You can tell it's been downloaded from Typekit because it features this very distinctive green TK icon next to its name. And that wraps it up. That's how you install new fonts either from google.fonts.com or from Typekit if you have a paid Creative Cloud subscription.